Today we're going to go over how to do some self-myofascial release for some of the structures in the back of the neck, and it's going to especially be pretty helpful if maybe you're spending a lot of time at your job and you're doing some typing, maybe your chin kind of comes forward for long periods of time, you're just loading up that neck. We're going to go over how to release it a little bit. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we're gonna go over the two different techniques that I like to show people in my office here. I'll give you a little bit of a scenario. So a lot of times the people I'm working with have a kind of desk job where they're doing a lot of typing and a lot of stress. And like most people in the world, once we start typing, right, we start kind of getting into this forward slouch posture, our chin comes forward, and we really start just kind of cranking on some of the tissues in the back of the neck. So having a couple of techniques like I'm about to show you here in your tool bag can make a really, really big difference and hopefully help you out a little bit here. So let's go over them. So the first one we're going to go over, we're going to use both hands here, and I'm just going to use the pads of my four fingers here on each side. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to make a nice broad contact on the back of the neck. And what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of push in, and then the biggest part of this that you don't want to forget is we're going to put a little bit of gentle traction down toward our spine. So I'm going to kind of go starting high up on my neck toward the hairline. We're going to press in a little bit of gentle traction kind of down toward the spine, and I'm going to hold that. I'm sitting up nice and tall, as you can see, and then I'm going to go ahead and just bring my chin to my chest. And the nice part about this is we're really kind of stretching and releasing all those different layers of tissue, starting at the top of the neck, and we can slowly just work our way down a little bit. So here's about the pace. I'll try to do this without talking into the microphone here. It's always tough with some of these neck exercise videos. So we're basically doing a little bit of pressure in, I'm pulling some traction down, and then I'm just going to go ahead and go chin to chest here, nice and slow and controlled. And then I'm going to start working my way down a little bit. And this is kind of the pace that I like. Sitting up nice and tall, a little pressure, a little traction down, back and forth a little bit. And I will say, when we're working with the neck, if you're used to doing a lot of myofascial release work or kind of getting there with a foam roller, lacrosse ball, whatever, a lot of times people are pretty aggressive. Whenever you're working with the neck, I always really tell people be a little bit less at first. You know, if you have some really pretty significant pain in your neck, start very, very light and kind of do it pretty frequently throughout the day. So no lower intensity, more frequency. That's usually when I get the best results when I'm working with people here. And the next thing we're gonna go over is we're actually gonna go one side at a time, and we're gonna add a little bit of rotation and a little bit of side bending. And that's just gonna allow us to kind of get into some different tissues of the neck. So I'm gonna work on this side. I'm just gonna use this one hand, and it's gonna look pretty similar. So pushing in, holding traction downward, and then I'm gonna go chin to chest, and when I get about halfway, I'm just going to start rotating my head over to the side. And you can start feeling some different tender areas, and that might be a spot where you want to kind of work that range of motion here. And I think about this like a clock direction. So I'm kind of just checking different ranges of motion with my neck back and forward, back and forth here. So chin to chest, kind of looking over to the side. And then I might even add in a little bit of kind of that side bend here, that lateral flexion, just kind of getting into some different structures here. Like I said, less is more. Just a little bit of tension here, but the biggest part is having that kind of firm traction downward and just going back and forth through different structures of your neck. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Sit up nice and tall, pressure in, kind of downward traction, and I'm just going to check those different ranges here. And we're just going to go kind of side to side here. All right, guys, another tool that you can use is, this is a lacrosse ball. If you go on Amazon or go wherever, maybe I'll put a couple of the links down below in the description. There's always a ton of different like kind of myofascial balls you can use. I've got a couple of the fancy ones. This is just a lacrosse ball. But what I like about this is it's got a little bit of a rubbery coating. So when I'm doing kind of a release work like this, it's kind of holds on and grips the skin a little bit. And I feel like I can get a good kind of shearing effect of all those tissue layers since this has got a little bit of rubber to it. So same thing, I'm going to put a little bit of pressure in, downward traction, and then I'm just going to kind of go back and forth here. Nice and light. Remember, in the neck, a little bit less is often more. So let's keep it simple. I hope this helped out a little bit. Start with these two different methods. Maybe use a ball. You know, you can always add on to stuff later, but having a simple routine that you can build on, just keeping it simple in the beginning is really, really important. Hopefully that means you can get it done more frequently, guys. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.